Hi guys, it's Dale with the insurance. Today we're going to talk about, excuse me, a pretty exciting article. It's a time in a person's life, both the child and the parents, where there's all types of things going on. So you really want to kind of cross your T's, dot your I's. The title of the article is "Car Insurance for College Students." Right. So busy time in people's lives. Insurance is often overlooked and completely understandable. But the article basically goes through a cost-benefit analysis where it almost streamlines the decision, right? So as you jump into it, the first hurdle is what do you consider the student's primary residence, right? So if it's not the parent's residence, then more often than not, you won't be able to be placed on your parent's policy, or you won't be able to place your child on that policy. If your child or the student primary residence and the residence that's on their driver's license is your home, then you obviously have the option of placing them on your insurance. Once you kind of pass that hurdle, you really get into the cost benefit of actually adding a child driver or a student driver, to your policy. The benefits are typically solely with the student, and it's really cost driven. So from a student standpoint, you save a ton of money, right? So not just from the direct benefit of the cost of the policy, but even looking forward, your policies, once you eventually segue off of your parents' policy, will be cheaper because of the continuous coverage you've had with your parents' policy. The cost, typically bared by the parents, the owners of the policy, comes in several different waves. The first is just adding a younger driver to your policy, a student driver to your policy. Your rates could double. They're definitely going to increase. The second facet of that is that you then become responsible for that student's driving, right? So if your child gets a ticket, if they get into an accident, the repercussions could hit your pocketbook, right? Like your rate and premium could very well increase. So those are really the cost in a nutshell. Typically, what people do is they certainly add their children to their policy, their entering college students to their policy. It's just an added cost that given everything that's going on when you enter college, it's just something that people don't want to have on their child's mind if you're able to do that. So there are a few other kind of odd and end things to note. One is discounts. So students are eligible for a good student discount. Typically, if you are at a B average or above, you're eligible for that. And then it's a discount called the resident student discount, which is if your school, typically it's about 100 miles. If your school is 100 miles away, 100 miles plus away from your primary residence, you then become eligible for a discount, and your car stays at your home, right? The second thing is if you do add your child to your policy, you may want to increase your liability coverage. Not saying that the student driver is risky, but just having another vehicle on the policy increases the chances of an accident or something happening. So just to cover your assets, cover your base, if you're going to increase the risk, you might as well on the other side increase the coverage. And then the third thing is often overlooked. If you decide to take your student or your child off of your policy, but they still live in your home, you would need to formally exclude them from your policy. And this actually goes for anybody that's at driving age that lives under your home would need to be formally excluded. So that's not just particular to a child or a student. So hopefully this helps you streamline that decision so you're not kind of bogged down with too much insignificant things as your child goes to college or as you're going to college. Like I said before, if you can get on your parents' policy, do it. One less thing that you have to think about, and it saves the student money. So if the parents can absorb that cost, it's worth it in the long run. Lord knows that the cost of having your own separate policy as a student will be significantly more than the additional cost of your parents adding you to their policy. Thanks for stopping by. We'll talk to you next week. Thank you.